Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll, and I am running point on this channel. This is your May real estate update for Glassel Park here in Los Angeles. If you're not familiar with Glassel Park, it's a sneaky little nice neighborhood just northeast of Silver Lake. And we're going to get into everything that's important if you're thinking about buying a home there or possibly selling. We're going to get into all the current numbers here in May. We're going to do some month over month, year over year statistics so you can have a better understanding of what's going on. And at the end of the video, we're going to touch on a few properties that have caught my eye. You don't want to miss that segment. I got some real juicy information there. But let's go. All right, so the current outlook on May here in Glassel Park, we do have 14 homes available for sale, which is not terrible. If you look at some of the other neighborhoods throughout the east side of LA, inventory is our biggest issue. It's going to be our biggest issue for the rest of this year, possibly years to come. But 14 is not a terrible number for Glassel Park. It's not the biggest neighborhood. Getting into the numbers, minimum side $999,000. So you are probably not looking to buy a home currently in Glassel for under $1 million. You price it at $999 to get a lot of offers and can attract those people who are searching under $1 million but might go over when they fall in love with a house. On the top end, 2.399, 999. Nice house here. We're going to get into this house specifically at the last segment of the video. Beautiful home. I love it. And the average list price here in Glassel Park is $1.326350. So about 1.35 and a half million. Average days on market for the home sitting in Glassel Park is 69. That is an insane number, but there is something inflating it, and we're going to touch on it. It's a real juicy nugget. Let's take a quick look at last year in May, where we saw in Glassel Park 11 homes get sold at 114% clip, meaning 14% over the list price. You're typically always going to see that number above the list price because people list low to build up demand and sell over it. 14% is pretty solid, pretty consistent with what we've seen in previous years. Here in 2023, that number is jumping drastically down into like the 105% range here on the east side of LA. But let's take a quick look into April, where some jarring information is going to affect what you think of the numbers you just heard. All right, so we're getting into last month, April. These are the most important statistics if you're somebody who's searching, because they're the most relevant, because they're the most recent, right? So let's get into the numbers, because there's some jarring information here that's going to change your perspective on what's going on in Glassel Park. 7 homes got sold last month at 101% clip. Like I mentioned, those numbers are dropping drastically in 2023. If I see 101%, that means some people took under the list price and homes were getting sold right at that mark. So it's something to keep in mind. We're not seeing the 115s, the 120s that we saw last year. The minimum side was $420,000. That's very low. It was just a back ADU unit, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So it wasn't a normal single family residence. It was pretty nice. Everything was updated. I liked it. I'd get in it if it's all you can afford and you can get along with the homeowners in the front house. So not bad, but that's going to skew the numbers a little bit. Here's the jarring one. Is the high end of those 7 homes sold was 1.1 million. That is extremely low. It brought our average home sale price down to under $775,000 at $773,271. That's so vital because the current average home price on the market is over 1.3 million, where last month the average was around $775,000. That is a monster gap, right? Over 500,000 gap there. So we might start to see some price drops in the homes currently listed in the neighborhood. So you might want to keep your eye on it if you're somebody who's searching, because I think some of these homeowners who have their houses listed are about to get some reality of what the neighborhood's actually selling for. Average days on market was 22. That number is always going to be lower than the current because the house is sold, right? And there's going to be a few outliers, which we're going to get to, that always affect that number. Let's take a look at April of 2022 because this is always a vital aspect to look over some year-over-year stats. We saw 17 homes get sold in April of 2022 at 112% clip, what we expect, but 17 compared to 7. That's obviously a huge drop. We're losing half of our work, even more so than that. That's going to be a consistent theme throughout this entire year. Maybe a summer push would help. There's a slim chance that Jerome Powell might lower rates. I doubt it. We're probably going to stay consistent, maybe for a couple months, but you can expect the interest rates to stay where they're at about for the rest of this year. Hopefully not longer, but it's certainly a possibility. If you have agents out there that are telling you the things like, oh, you can just refinance down the line, that is a BS line. You need to get into a mortgage and be prepared to pay what that initial monthly payment says you're going to have to pay for the entirety of the 30 years. That's the only way you can be financially prepared for this investment. If you do anything else, you're being very risky. And if things change and the interest rates do come down at some point during the 30 years, which they should, then you're in a good position where you can make an educated decision if you want to refinance and get that lower rate. But outside of that, you cannot bank on it because you're going to put yourself in a huge risk proposition. And you do not want to take risks on $1 million loan straight up. Now, let's take a quick look at the homes that have caught my eye. This segment's huge. Let's go. All right, so homes that have caught my eye in the neighborhood. This is usually the portion of the video where I tell you that I'm not going to rag on homes. I'm here to promote homes that I think have available opportunities or are nice, because I'm not here to drag down other agents. And essentially, I'm not trying to mess with somebody who's trying to sell their home. But I'm going to break that rule right now because I will rag on Open Door all day. It's 3610 Parrish Avenue, 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, over 2,100 square feet. They got it on sale for $1.154 million. This home went on the market 5/22 of 2022. It's been sitting for over a year. Open Door markets that you can save a few percentage points off your realtor pay, which will accumulate to, maybe $10,000. They originally listed this home for $1.411 million, meaning they've lowered the price $257,000 over the year, and it still hasn't sold. Don't even get me started on how much you've lost in mortgage payments on this home. You lost $257,000 off the list price because either the agent was an idiot or they just don't know how to market the home. But you're going to save 10 grand using this offset Open Door company. Go look at what Open Door has dealt with over the past year between fines and all the BS. Do not do it. Use an actual agent. You're better off selling your home on your own than using Open Door, straight up. Let's get into some more positive aspects as we get into the other homes. Next one, my favorite home in the neighborhood right now, 3841 Cazador Street, 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, just over 2,000 square feet. This place is a little bit high on the per square footage price, but the views are absolutely incredible. That is the cool thing. As you get onto the east side into Silver Lake, Glassel Park, you can get some homes that are right up on some hills with some incredible views of the east side that overlook the San Gabriel Mountains, overlook downtown. The agents that did this and did the pictures for the MLS actually were very smart in the way that they listed this home, because it would be a picture of the house and then the view, a picture of the house and then the view. And that's exactly how I would have done it. I would have been shooting some insane videos if I got this listed. It's listed for $1.588899 million. I absolutely love it. If I could walk out on my porch every single day and see these views, I'd be about that life. Let's get to the big dog, the top priced home on the market. It's 3839 Sunbeam Drive. It's a 3 bedroom, 4 bath, 2,868 square feet. It's listed for $2.399999 million. Incredible home. It has a pool. The views here are great as well. It is an absolutely gorgeous house. Now, it is not going to be listed until June 4th. I think this house is pristine, so it'll probably go fairly quick if there's people in the market. The one hesitation I would have is there haven't been a ton of high-end sales this year. There was a sale for $8.6 million this year, but it was an off-market sale, which happens consistently with super high-end stuff. So I don't know how long it sat or any of the details of that transaction. There's only been 3 other homes in Glassel Park this year that have sold for over $2 million, the highest being $2.25 million. So this would be the highest on-market home if it sells at list price or above. But I really do like the house, so I think it's got an opportunity to set the new high for the year, which will be cool for the neighborhood, bring that average price up. We'll see. But that's a wrap on Glassel Park. Stay tuned. We're going to do this every single month. I'm going to keep you completely tuned in. If you're somebody who's sitting on the sidelines and you have hesitations, they are warranted. But I'm going to keep you updated. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a like. We're doing Glassel Park. We're doing Mount Washington, Atwater, Silver Lake, Echo Park, everything on the east side, my favorite part of the city. We're going to do some restaurant reports. We're going to do attractions. I'm going to get into the schools for you. We're going to do some goofy, fun stuff just to keep you entertained because it's social media. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day. Be kind.
Yeah.